think it was.
Excellent work on your intelligence gathering mission, Lieutenant. This information will be much appreciated by our units advancing through Normandy. Now for your next assignment. As we speak, 3 divisions from the US 7 Corps...
So, I also need to fix something here, too, because, every time that I play this game, I have to actually execute a console command in order to fix it. Let me see what it was. Because it was like execute OBS or something. Yeah, it's like... X... OBS. There we go. Well, to tell you the truth, I'm surprised, like, you know, because nowadays we're dealing with, like, drones and stuff. So it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up in a time where, like, it becomes, like, not Cyberpunk, but more like Blade Runner. Or, like, even Idiocracy. Like, Idiocracy is becoming more of a documentary film than anything else. Now, I'm going to be playing this mission on easy, and I have no shame in doing so, because this mission is pain. It is literally Dark Souls in Medal of Honor, because the enemies blend in so well that it is near, with my eyesight, it's damn near impossible to see them. So,
Get him! Watch out! Thanks. We got cut off from the rest of our squad.
Kara, welcome! If you go into my redeems, there is a head pat for 50 points, and it's unlimited redeems, so anytime you want to give head pats, it is much appreciated. Hmm. But yeah, like I said, I don't have any regret of playing this mission on easy difficulty because it is a pain. It is very much a trial and error kind of level. Yeah, see, like, I'm getting shot and I have no idea where. I'm sleepy, but awesome to see. Yeah, Big is definitely good people, and so are you, Kara, and everyone in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna reset the level. Yeah, because like I said, this mission is like, just, it will do some very bad things to your sanity. You're not people, you're a potato. So you're basically GLaDOS, then, if you're a potato.
Watch out! We don't know where anyone is.
Well, I don't know where anyone is either, because I don't know where I'm being shot from. Now, I love this game to death, but if I could just skip this level, I 180% would. Yeah, because, like, that's just one person. Like, there's another one shooting at me right there. If I was doing this on any other difficulty, it would be a pain. Oh, really? So, there's gonna be a lot of, like, loading and saving, just because, like I said, this mission, like, even when I was a child, was just pain. Potato. Yeah, my small pocket Kara is actually right next to my portal gun, because I know that you like portal Kara. Oh, hey, Jet, welcome to the stream. I have new redeems available, so if you look at your points, you will be able to give me head pats, or slime me Nickelodeon style, or throw a bucket onto my head. Just like, there's a lot of stuff, so I encourage you to go nuts. Oh, you're welcome, Kara. You can also change my outfits, too. So, like, there's different, like, outfit names that you can pick, and you can change my outfit. It's a one-per-person thing, so it doesn't get abused, basically. Head pats are definitely appreciated and almost necessary playing this level. Okay, so I remember there was one over here somewhere. Oh. I'm just gonna book it. Yeah, so the thing about this level is that not only do you have to figure out where every single sniper is, you also have to protect your allies from dying. And it is very difficult. Essentially, the name of this level is called Sniper Town, and it lives up to its reputation. Like, I encourage anybody who ever tries this game to skip this level, because it is pain and hell, and I hate it so much. Because, see, like, I don't even know where that's coming from. I mean, it's realistic, though. Like, it's realistic because, like, I mean, if you don't know where the sniper is, then they're a good sniper. But I'm not looking for realism. I'm looking for arcadey shoot, one-man army stuff. Eno must do push-ups style. Need boops. I mean, you can boop me anytime, but there's no redeem for it. See, I think he's in the tree line there, somewhere. Oh, I saw the shot. Oh, it's that guy right there. Okay. So, I'll just use my Thompson. Yes, boops. How dare. Because unfortunately there's no boop redeem, but there is head pats, which is more appreciated than boops. Oh, right there. So that leaves one more. And I think he's hidden behind these trees up here somewhere. Oh, somebody just died. Yeah, look, our entire squad's pretty much dead. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll restart from earlier in the level and just, like, sweep the entire area. Because I don't want my entire squad dying. And I refuse to use cheat codes, because I can use cheats in this game, but I will not use them unless absolutely necessary. I think I should have just done this from the start, because I have a much better view of the area. Oh, there he is! So he was hidden behind the trees. But now there's somebody else that's shooting at me that I have no idea where. So I would say that, like, this level really, like, sells the realism factor of, like, being in a town infested with enemy snipers. Like, everything else is, like, arcadey fun, but this level really kind of, like, sells the realism of the hopelessness of being in a situation where you're surrounded by the enemy and you have no idea where they are. Luckily, I have saves. But how's everybody doing today? Like, I know that last night, like, I was gonna stream and, like, I had some stuff going on, and... But, how's everybody doing? Like, I always want to check in on the audience to make sure everyone's doing okay, and, like, if you want to talk about stuff, like, you're more than welcome to. Because believe me, I'm gonna need to check myself into therapy after this mission. There you are. Hopeless warrior. Yeah, for sure. I'm doing. Oh yeah, speaking of therapy, that's going really well. Good, good. I actually just got done with the therapy session earlier before my stream. Where... Oh. I don't think he's gonna get up after getting shot by, like, an entire magazine worth of 45 ACP. That was close by. But where? Yeah, they're just, like, in all these really weird spots, too. Therapy, is that something you eat? Yeah, it's good brain food. Too sleepy to talk? Hey, no worries, Kara. Like, just your presence is appreciated. I need to go back into these buildings to see if there's any health that I can get. Because I don't know if my squad is even still alive. They might have already been taken out by the sniper fire. Yeah, I think my squad is just done. There's nobody left. So, the squad that I started with, they can all die, but later on in the level, I have to locate the bazooka team and my, basically my tank crew, and I have to defend them from more sniper fire. So, yeah, this is gonna be, not so fun. But I intend to beat this game today. It's just that this level is probably going to take the longest amount of time just because of its difficulty. Because, like, every other level is, like, espionage and, like, one-man army stuff. But this level, I cannot stress enough, is where the difficulty, like, peaks in this game. Oh, he's in the tower. I don't know if I'm hitting anything, but I'm just, like, spraying and praying at this point just in case I hit him. Okay. Gotta be careful around this corner, because I know that the moment that I turn that corner, I'm gonna get hit by one shot somewhere. Yep, right there. But what I love about playing World War II shooters and World War II games in general is that I get to talk about the history behind it because I'm very passionate about that stuff. And I know that me, like, turning, like, into nerd spirit is, like, grounds for head pats, but the thing is, like, World War II, like, just, like, there's a lot of fascinating history behind it. Like, the Thompson, like, a lot of people know the Thompson from, like, the... So, the Thompson submachine gun, a lot of people know it as, like, the Chicago typewriter, but, like, what Call of Duty led a lot of people to believe is that, oh, we need to go get a drum magazine and run around with that because it's got, like, 50 rounds in it. But in reality, you really don't want to be running around with a drum mag, like, especially more than a couple of them, because you have that extra weight, and all the rounds in there are heavy. So you'd be carrying, like, at least an extra, like, 20, 30 pounds. Oh, no, 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 no! Oh, that was close. So, while it did happen, like, there were instances of a drum magazine being used in World War II, primarily you had the 30-round mags, like in this. And they are interchangeable because it is still the same gun, so you can use the 30-round mags in a 1928 Thompson, or vice versa. So carrying around, like, these smaller mags was a lot more economical for a soldier. And it's unwieldy, yeah, like, while it's cool, it's more left into the gangster movies and the imagination. Like, it's definitely not something that you'd want to run around with. So now that I've taken out all the snipers in the town, or at least most of them, now I have to locate the bazooka team, because primarily, whenever you do this level, you want to take out the snipers first, because if you locate the bazooka team and then you escort them to the end of the level, well, they'll probably end up getting just pasted by the sniper fire. And the thing is their location is not set. It will randomly, like, put them in one of these buildings every single time you play, so it's not a guarantee that they'll be in the same spot that you left them last time. So the 1911 and the Thompson both use the same round, so while obviously it doesn't share the ammo here, the 1911, also known as the Colt 45 in this game, uses the 45 ACP round, which, very, very big bullet. Like, it is a very, very big bullet. And I just think it's incredible that somebody was able to make a machine gun with that round. Then again, we've got, like, the Browning, which is like a 50 cal round, so it's not unheard of to have a 50 caliber machine gun. But, like, the Browning, the M2 Browning is still used to this very day. So there's plenty of World War II weapons that still see service today in various conflicts around the world. So, like, the M2 Browning, still used to this day by U.S. troops. Because it's like, if it's not broken, don't fix it. The MG42, primarily known as Hitler's Buzzsaw, the German machine gun, still used to this day in a variation called the I think it's the M3, the MG3, I believe, used by the modern German army. Pretty much the same gun, just chambered in a NATO cartridge rather than the older round that it used during the war. Oh yeah, it's like a lot of German weapons, like the MP40, use like a 9mm cartridge. So it's like, it's easier, like one round, like universally through all of their weapons, or at least most of them, made it a lot easier to, logistically, like you say, to fight a war. And I read reports that the STG-44, which was the assault rifle introduced in 1944, while it was a really great firearm, I've heard reports that a lot of the soldiers that got the STG-44 absolutely hated it. Not because it was, like, a terrible weapon, but because it was heavy. And it was just a lot to carry around. So while they were thinking in the right direction, they just, it just wasn't, like, something that was really popular Like, even Hitler hated it. Like, he hated it and tried to stop production until he actually fired one. And then that's when they changed the designation from MP-44 to the STG-44, the Sturmgewehr. This bazooka team is very good at hiding. Which is a good thing, because if they weren't anywhere else, they would have probably died by now. Because if the bazooka team dies, it would fail the mission, so they have to be in one of these buildings somewhere. Or, never mind, I guess I get the bazooka. Common misconception. A lot of people refer to modern-day rocket launchers as bazookas, but the bazooka was only ever the designation of this specific launcher. I could be misremembering, but bazookas were, like, the naming designation was really only for this specific launcher. Later on, like, we had different launchers, like, modern day, we've got the AT-4, the Javelin, the N-Law, and a bunch of other, like, the RPG. Like, there's so many different designations nowadays. Find a way through the gate. I could just open the gate, or, like, go past it. Oh, yeah, I have to go through the window. Was this the gun that Kalashnikov tinkered with while he was in the field hospital, because that became the inspiration for the AK-47? So, there's varying accounts, because you can't really trust some of what, like, Russian historians will tell you about that, because they really like to rewrite history in their favor. So, and that goes for everybody, like, history is written by the victor, but Kalashnikov, he encountered the STG-44, yes, and saw the design, but it was more of, from my understanding, that Kalashnikov, like, basically took the look of the STG-44 and made the internals of an M1 Garand. Like, that was essentially what happened, is that, like, the AK-47 is basically just the internally an M1, but the outer appearance and aesthetic of an STG-44. So, I could have sworn I had to go through the window here, but get past the gate into the rest of town. I just heard an enemy. Oh. So they opened the door for me. But yeah, like, as far as, like, firearm history is concerned, like, I know quite a bit, but I definitely am not an expert.
Sir, the rest of the tank crew is holed up back here.
Also, another common misconception that I see in a lot of video games is whether it be Allied troops or enemy troops that have, like, the Red Cross emblem on them, symbolizing that they're a medic. That's actually not a good idea, especially in World War II and earlier wars, because back then, we didn't really have a lot of these established rules of engagement. So, like, it's a very, like, it's... Medics are technically considered non-combatants, so you're not supposed to shoot a medic. So a medic can defend themselves, and in that case, they are a combatant, but medics are considered non-combatants in a war situation. So back then, it was a bad idea to put the Red Cross or, like, a stripe that symbolized that you were a medic, because that would make you a target for the enemy. Because, I mean, like, what are they going to do when their medic's dead, you know? Like, they want to take them out as soon as possible. It's the same way that they don't advertise their rank in a battlefield.
Watch it. ready to go, sir.
And see, a lot of this I know because I've mentioned previously in streams that I was going into the military, and I have a lot of friends who are actively serving. So, like, a lot of this knowledge comes from that, and because I know a lot of people who are in the service actively. That is a grenade! Is there anything specific that you want to know, chat? Because, like, I can try to clarify stuff as much as I can. Like, any, like, historical facts relating to the war. Like, I can try to answer it as best I can, but I'm certainly not as great as my brother, who actually has a degree in teaching. I thought I heard a door just open now. Oh! But what's fascinating is that today, if you go to Berlin, there are certain streets and buildings that still have bullet holes from the war, and like damage and flak, like the black smoke and stuff from the ordnance. Like, it still covers some of these buildings in Berlin to this very day. Like, if you go into the Reichstag, you can see, like, old, like, Soviet graffiti and stuff that the Red Army soldiers wrote down when they were occupying a building. Hey, Kit! Welcome to the stream! I think probably one of my favorite World War II stories is actually one that doesn't take place in Europe. It's actually one that takes place in the Pacific Theater. So there was a Japanese soldier, I believe his name was Hiro Onada. I don't know if I got his name exactly correct, but he was a soldier whose mission was basically, he was told by his commanding officer, like, do not give up the fight unless I personally give you the order to stop. So this Japanese soldier was on this Pacific island from like 1943 or 44 or something, maybe 45. I don't remember. It was some year during the war, but he was on that island from like the end of the war up until like the 1970s. He fought World War II for an additional 30 years. Oh yeah, like there's multiple cases of that, but like, yeah, it's called the Japanese holdouts. There was, like, Iwo Jima, for example, like, there was holdouts on Iwo Jima until, like, 1948, I think. Where, like, they would have to, like, the battle was over, but there was still, like, a garrison of troops that were hiding under Mount Suribachi and the surrounding area. But the thing that's interesting about that is that supplies ran so low that the Japanese army that was there actually, like, started getting into tribalism, where, like, they would have, like, these rival tribes of Japanese army garrisons where they would steal supplies from them, and they would end up shooting at each other, and they would just, like, in the dead of night, they would steal supplies from American soldiers. Where? Oh, well, thank you, medic. This is why I hate this level, because I have no idea where I'm being shot from. Oh, those are my guys. Well, I think they handled it better than I could. But I'm still being shot by somewhere, but I don't know where. Bruh, get out of the doorway so I can get in, please. Thank you. And I'm still trapped. Yeah, there are multiple instances. They actually had to bring back former commanding officers back to tell them the war was over. And yeah, and that's what happened with Hiro Nada, is that they dropped leaflets, they had interpreters come down and tell them the war was over, but they all thought it was an Allied trick, so they didn't. And while I don't think that it was necessarily the inspiration, but there was an episode of Star Wars Rebels where they encountered the Separatist holdouts in General Kalani, who refused to end the Clone Wars and deactivate his droids because he thought it was a Republic trick. It's similar... thematically, it's similar to the story of the Japanese holdouts that didn't want to end the war. And while there were instances of Nazi Germany that... there were instances of garrisons that did not end the war whenever Hitler had done... You know, I can't say on Twitch, but after Hitler did that thing... there were contingents of the SS, for example, that still were fighting the war, and garrisons in Norway and other places that just refused to give up until later on. They didn't last until the 70s, like the certain holdouts of the Japanese army did, but there was I can't remember the name of this. There was a castle where there was a garrison of the Wehrmacht that had already surrendered. Well, it's because this guy right here. Jeez, he blends in so well. And the problem is that I can't get over there either, so I can't kill him. But there was a castle where a garrison of the Wehrmacht actually joined forces with Allied troops in order to fight off the SS. It's considered to be one of the last great battles of World War II. Yeah, that's just so lame. He's hiding in there and you can't hit him. You know what? There, if that didn't kill him, then I don't know what will. I need to go in physically with my Thompson and take them out. But yeah, this game is the one that got me into World War II history in general. Self-game anti-disconnected. And you're talking about the guy that got shot, right? You're not talking about the stream. Because, I know that the stream is still going, but I always have to, double check just to be sure. Okay, good. Yeah, I was very focused. I get in the zone. Like I said, I need to move my monitor, probably my second monitor, a little closer, so I can actually, see out of the corner of my eye. Because that'll help me to, see the head pads and stuff better. But yeah, you can certainly see the pain that I encounter on this level. Yeah, and this game came out in 2002, and I remember my grandfather getting it for our family computer. So I remember that we got multiple copies of this game so we could play it across multiple computers in our house. But this is the game that really got me into World War II history. In fact, like, the way that I remember the date, and to this day, this is still how I remember it. The reason that I remember the date of D-Day is because it was my aunt's birthday, June 6th. So that I remember D-Day not because of the historical significance, but because it's the same date as my aunt's birthday. See, like, even on easy difficulty, like, they take 2 shots with the sniper rifle. It is quite aggravating, this level is. Because at the time, I don't even know who's shooting at me. Alright, fellas, we're getting into this building. Not that they can hear me, but, you know. Speaking of historic dates, tomorrow is 9/11. You know, 9/11 is also a historical date down here. Like, completely separate from the obvious, or, like... See, what, like, I won't, like, get into, like, the details of it, because I want to keep the stream, like, as a positive vibe where everyone can, like, freely chat and be comfortable and, like, not have to worry about those things, but, I was in kindergarten at the... He's gonna die, because he's sitting right there. Oh, surprisingly not, he took that grenade like a champ. But I was in kindergarten when that happened, so I was too young to really understand what was happening. I just remembered, like, seeing it on the TV and, like, you know, wondering why, like, the TV was constantly showing these images. And I just didn't understand why I couldn't use the living room TV to watch cartoons or, like, Arthur or whatever.
We'll cover you.
But I don't really remember anything specific, like, just that, like, one memory. But I was, like, what, 5 years old at the time, so I really didn't understand, like, any of what was going on. It certainly wasn't until, like, years and years later that I really understood the gravity of what I was seeing. I was nearly 6 months old, so I've got no memory.
Cover you.
And this, my lovely chat, is the King Tiger tank. Needless to say, I wasn't even genetic data within my father back then.
Alright, let's take this tank and go.
That's probably one of the most unique ways that, like, ways of putting it there, Trends. So... another thing that a lot of games get wrong is, like, especially Battlefield, for example, and I know this is for gameplay balance, but something that I just feel the need to point out here is that whenever a game has, like, a tank segment and you just have this one person getting into a tank and operating it, that's pure fantasy. The tank crew usually needs at least 2 people, like, minimum. Usually there's sometimes, like, 2 to 3 people that are in the tank. You can't really operate it by yourself because... unless the tank is built a certain way where you can do all this stuff as one person, you need somebody to load the rounds in, unless it has an auto-loader, which a lot of modern tanks do have nowadays. You have to have somebody manually load the round in, close the hatch, shoot it, aim the turret, and also drive the tank. So you need more than just one person. But we get to go into the King Tiger, or the King Tiger tank. But what blew my mind is that you could just destroy buildings too. Like, that was just so cool. But the thing is that since you're literally in a tank, their small arms fire does nothing. So the only thing that can damage you is the Panzerschreck or another tank. Now, there is a glitch here that I encountered when I was little that I'm going to try to replicate, but I don't know if I can. One of these buildings you can just drive right up to, and it will launch you into the air. Now, I don't know if it'll still work, but I'll give it a try. It's like, I think it's this one here. Kind of. It's like if you, like, I remember that you drove, like, into this, like, corner here and it'll launch you into the air. So it may be hard to hear with my commentary and some of the sound effects, but whenever I fired this round, like, just audibly listen to what's happening. So that sound is somebody opening the hatch and taking out the casing for the round that was fired and replacing it with a new one. So somebody's manually doing that. Yeah, I love how Panzerfaust literally translates to Armor Fist. Oh, that's why there's a... What is, like... What am I looking... Okay. My Tiger tank is sideways. Well, my tank is sideways. We're shooting the tank like a gangster. It's like, I just was talking about, like, potentially glitching the game, and then I ended up glitching the game, but in a completely separate way. However, I am going to load the save, because I don't want to, like, take that much health away from myself. But yeah, the stream's going good. I'm going to finish up the game today, because it's probably only, like, another hour or two worth of story here. Because there are 2 expansions, but I won't be doing them tonight. But this also gives me another opportunity to try that glitch again. But, you know, I'm just like nerding out about World War II history and getting head pats too. Yes, please. Can I please have head pats? I can't have it. Oh. What, are you gonna splash me with a bucket or Nickelodeon slime? Yay. Head patties. Oh, a half track. With literally nobody in the gunner seat. Also, taking an enemy tank like this is not necessarily a good idea. In this case, it's okay, because it's an espionage mission. And there's no other, like, allied troops in the area, but really you wouldn't want to take an enemy tank like this if you could operate it, because it still has all the enemy insignia on it, so natural assumption is if... Yeah, I do need my eyes checked, but natural assumption, like, for your allied forces is that you see an enemy armor with enemy markings, you're gonna shoot at it, so that's just a good way to get killed. So these concrete blocks are there for blocking tanks and other vehicles. It's just so nice to be able to share, like, stuff that I'm passionate about. I've actually seen a Panzerschreck in person, these rocket launchers that they're using. And they're interesting. Like, their real designation is something else, but, like, it's just more well-known as the Panzerschreck. Kind of like the bazooka. They have proper names, but the nickname is more well-known. But the Tiger tanks are a really interesting set of armored vehicles, because there's only one functional Tiger tank in the world right now. Tiger 131, and is currently in the either in the UK or Germany. I don't remember exactly which. But I think it's just because, like, post-war, because of the manufacturing limitations that were put upon Germany post-war, they weren't able to basically create anything until, like, the 50s or the 60s. So a lot of stuff post-war was scrapped. So, like, a lot of the engines and parts and stuff for these old Tiger tank engines just no longer exist. So the singular Tiger tank that is running, when that engine blows, like, there is no way to fix it. And that specific Tiger tank was captured in North Africa during the North Africa campaign, I believe, with Patton versus Rommel. It could be with Jonathan Ferguson, yeah. The Keeper of Firearms and Artillery at the Royal Armouries Museum in the UK. I like Jonathan Ferguson, though. He certainly knows his stuff, and it's much appreciated. And he knows how to have fun, too. So that's a Panzer. This over here is a Tiger tank. And I destroyed the Tiger tank with one hit, so that functional Tiger tank is, well, say goodbye to the Tiger 1. But I just thought this was so cool when I was a kid, just being able to... Because, like, you spent half the game shooting tanks, and now you actually get to be in a tank. Oh, that's a Flak 88. Oh, there's a tank in that. Oh no, that's just another Flak. Now, as far as the King Tiger is concerned, I'm not sure if there's any functional models that still exist. There could be, but I just don't know off the top of my head. I suppose the insignia thing was one of the reasons that captured vehicles were so impressive. Yeah, like... and that happened both ways. So, like, there was, so the Allied troops captured a lot of tanks, as well as the Soviets, and they used them against, the opposing army. But occasionally, like, Germany would capture tanks as well. So, like, the T-60 and a bunch of other Soviet tanks and American Shermans were captured and repurposed by Nazi Germany. So it wasn't uncommon. But another thing that games get wrong is that tossing away your empty magazine just to the ground. In real life, you wouldn't want to do that because if you lose all of your magazines, then you won't be able to reload them later. So you always, like, whenever you take a mag out, you put your empty mag into a pouch and then pull out a fresh one from another pouch. So, like, it's definitely not a good idea to just toss away your mags just haphazardly. You really want to make sure that you keep them. So this part right here, I think, is the one with the glitch that I remember as a child. I'll try it once, but if I don't get it, I'll just continue the mission. I think it was this building here. Maybe since this is the GOG version, they may have patched that out. You guys are on the same wavelength. That was awesome. Clips are cheap, mags are expensive. That's why clips were used originally. Expected soldiers throw them away, which is another reason why the M1 had, like... It was just like... It's like, clips were just basically just a small piece of metal. So it was much more expendable to use that. But yeah, it kind of goes back to the whole drum mag thing with the Thompson. Like, you definitely don't want to be, like, throwing away your drum mag. Because, like, those can get pricey real quick. Especially 45 ACP. Like, those rounds are not cheap. Like, just, it's almost like, I think it was like, I think there was, like, I saw one at a store once. It was like a pack of 50 rounds. That was, like, $40 or something. Literally just a bent piece of sheet metal. Yeah, like if it functions, it functions.
Sir, we're in position. The tank will stay here while you check out the bridge.
There was a lot of really, like, strange designs in World War II. So, like, the King Tiger, like, like, the whole Call of Duty idea of, like, wonder weapons and so on, like, that was a real thing to a degree. Like, there was a lot of really experimental technology that was made, like, Germany in World War II is credited with creating one of the first jet planes, the Me-262. And they had, like, this idea, like, for, like, a really massive tank that had, basically a naval gun on it. There's also the giant armored trains and stuff. Like, there was a lot of, like, really weird ideas for weapons of war. Oh yeah, it's very expensive, like, that's the thing about, like I said, about, like, emptying your mags and just tossing them to the ground. Like, you don't want to do that. It's just not a good idea logistically to do that. Like, maybe if you're in a firefight situation and you have no other choice, but, like... But for the most part, you really want to save your magazines. And the idea of picking up enemy weapons, it's not unheard of for that to happen. But, I remember hearing stories from soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan where they would pick up enemy weapons and have to use them because they were readily available, the ammo at least. But because of the quality of, like, the manufacturing of the rounds and the magazines and just the gun design in general, because, like, a lot of the weapons over there are leftovers from the Soviet-Afghan War and other conflicts. So the guns are effectively ancient. Where? Oh. So a lot of the time, like, the guns would jam. Like, I saw a video of a guy using a captured Iraqi or Afghanistan AK, and it was effectively a bolt-action rifle because he had to keep, like, pulling the charging handle to insert a new round in because it was just so rusted up and filled with sand. Here, I gotta say that in Senator Armstrong's voice. Well, I actually don't know how to do his voice, but so, scratch that. Nothing like a war to jumpstart the economy, eh, Jack? You know, something like that. I'm using war as a business to end war as a business. The sad part is about Senator Armstrong is that he's like this macho American archetype, and I've actually seen people that think and act like Senator Armstrong in my day-to-day life. Oh, what are you talking about, Blaze? You're a voice actor. You can do those voices.
Powell, look for a plunger. We believe the enemy has the bridge wired for detonation. You've got to stop them from pressing the plunger at all costs. Okay, sir. We're moving the tank up to the bridge. Don't let him get to that plunger.
And another thing, like, the Flak 88 here, that has a team of at least 3 people to function. Yeah, there's nobody there that's running that thing.
Lieutenant, you will fail your mission if that bridge is destroyed.
You know who's a great American man? Who's a great American man?
Here comes the cavalry. Powell, the artillery is ready and fire command is sending planes your way. Target enemy tanks with your
Walt
binoculars.
Kowalski?
Take care of the rest. We're taking damage. Got it. Coordinates have been received. Launch of enemy resistance is Alpha Zulu. Awaiting coordinates. Taking damage.
Yeah, I love the soundtrack for this game. Yeah, Michael Giacchio is the one who did the soundtrack for this game, and he's one of my all-time favorite composers. Him, James Horner, Hans Zimmer, main character. Oh, Gran Torino, like the Clint Eastwood.
We're taking a bounty here, sir. This is Alpha Zulu standing by. They're hitting us pretty hard here, sir.
Basically, this mission is you sit in this window and just defend the tank.
We're taking a bounty here, sir. Roger. We're taking a bounty here, sir.
Oh, another King Tiger, jeez.
This is Alpha Zulu. Awaiting coordinates. Over. She can't take much more of this.
It's a King Tiger versus a King Tiger with the same markings because they're both 332.
She can't take much more of this. Too well.
Well, maybe you should get the Flyboys to do the artillery.
She's not holding up too well.
I'm spamming the button. Come on, plane, work, please. Artillery now, necessary. Like kamikaze into the damn thing if you have to.
She can't take much more of this.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to help, but they refuse to help.
She can't take much more of this.
Guys, come on, seriously? I'm gonna lose the mission because the artillery just refuses to work.
Can't take much more of this.
Okay, never mind. They took it out on their own. Well, gee, thanks, Army Air Force, for being useful. I need to play all the Metal Gear games and DMC games. If at first you don't succeed, call for an airstrike. But when you call for an airstrike and the airstrike doesn't show up, does the airstrike really exist? Alright, no problem,
Last
Blaze.
November, one of your fellow operatives, Lieutenant James Patterson, destroyed a secret mustard gas production facility along the Siegfried Line at a place called Fort Schmerzen. Unfortunately, new intelligence suggests that Schmerzen's commander, one Colonel Muller, has somehow restored the fort back to full operation. The OSS has received reports of trains headed towards the fort hauling prisoners of war out of the Hurtgen Forest. It's possible Schmerzen is simply a stopover point for POWs being moved east, but my gut feeling is Muller has something more nefarious going on. Your orders are to permanently wipe this facility off the map. To this end, we formed a special assault force of Rangers handpicked from your old unit. They'll be bringing along enough high explosive to reduce Schmerzen to rubble once and for all. We're sending you in first, Lieutenant, to cut the lines of communication between Schmerzen and the rest of the world. After that, you'll need to intercept and commandeer the POW train that's headed to the fort. It'll serve as the Trojan horse that delivers you and your fellow Rangers into the Schmerzen compound. From there, you'll have to fight your way down to Schmerzen's lower level, plant the charges, and get out as fast as you can. Needless to say, make sure that any POWs you encounter are clear of the blast. You're dismissed. Good luck.
So, in the game, Fort Schmerzen is the sarin gas facility, which was one of the weapons. Like, there was a lot of like chemicals and other like very lethal substances that were first created during World War II. There was a getting into a little heavier of a topic. I can't remember, methamphetamine, I think it was a lot of soldiers were prescribed like methamphetamines or something similar to keep themselves awake and to basically like dull the pain in order for them to fight to the very last breath. And that was just really common back then. There were like rumors that there was like chocolate bars and stuff that contained it, but no, it was always in a pill substance that was issued to the German soldiers back then. Yeah, like there was a lot of issues of like drugs and stuff being used back then, and sarin gas was a chemical that was, as far as I'm aware, first compounded in World War II and has been used in a lot of other incidents since then, unfortunately. But we're going to take out this sarin gas facility so that it doesn't affect anyone else. Now we're in my favorite section of the game, which is the very end, because I like these levels more than any of the others. Well, I was going to say that until I started getting shot from nowhere again. Well, there's no point using the silenced pistol. They already know I'm here. Give me just a second, chat. Let me, well, if one of my mods is here, can you delete that, please? Here, I got it. Have the Medal of Honor games been remastered, remade yet? So, unfortunately, no. There was a VR title that was released somewhat recently called Above and Beyond by the original dev team of Medal of Honor Allied Assault. So, and I have not played Above and Beyond, but it is made by the original dev team of Allied Assault. So, the people who made this game went on to form Infinity Ward. And the people that made Infinity Ward left Infinity Ward to go film... They created a studio that you may recognize for titles such as Apex Legends, Titanfall, and Titanfall 2, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Respawn Entertainment. Yeah, like, I get that. Like, a lot of... Like, I get a lot of those. Well, not a lot of them, but, like, that happens occasionally. Like, it's just a bot where... Like, they'll try to advertise, like, some Bitcoin stuff, and... A tree prevented him from hitting me. I said it before and I'll say it again. One thing that I absolutely love about the MG42s in this game is that there's no rounds at all going into this thing, so it's literally, it would just be click, 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 because there's nothing there. So, you could have like a belt of rounds that would go in through here, like from an ammo container, or there are even magazines for the MG42 specifically. But the in-game model here shows that there's nothing actually going into the gun, so effectively you're just clicking nothing. But magically, it has infinite ammo. It's like stuff that I would easily overlook as a child, but now that I'm an adult and I know more about these things. Yeah, I would do that, but I had to actually go into mobile to do that because whenever I play this game, it locks me into it. I can't Alt-Tab, so I can't go to my other monitor and do that. So I had to go physically into the app on Twitch and do it that way. I'll keep tracking towards the rally point. So they haven't spotted me yet, but this is fairly accurate. Probably a little too many people, but usually an MG42 crew would consist of like 2 people. So something that was taught to GIs during the war is when an MG42 fires, it fires so quickly that the barrel will actually overheat. So there's a slot in the MG42 that you can open up, and you can replace the barrel on the fly. So usually MG42 crews would have multiple different barrels that they could change to keep a consistent fire rate. So more skilled crews could do this within like maybe a minute or like a couple, even like less than a minute. So GIs were trained to charge the position or like fire on the position during that barrel change. So that was how they were able to essentially take out these crews regardless of the intense fire rate and so on. So like, whenever they change the barrel, that's a perfect opportunity because they literally can't shoot the gun even if they load it. And when I go up into this bunker, I can actually show it a little more closely if I can go into this bunker, which looks like I can't. But I guess I can do it from this angle. It's close enough. Maybe. So, that little groove right there, that is where the barrel is, and once I get to a closer one, I'll show it more properly, but... like, and that is still something that is used in the modernized variant of the MG42, the MG3, to this day. In Oklahoma, there is a full auto shoot festival called OFAST. It's called Oklahoma Full Auto Shoot and Trade Show. Every summer, like different like vendors from around the country will come down, and you can shoot like a bunch of full auto firearms. So they sometimes bring historical ones too, like the MG42, the MP40, stuff like that. I'd love to do that, but it is so unbelievably expensive to do it. You're probably not going to get out of there spending like less than $400 if you wanted to have a good time, because like they pay like per magazine. So like if you like bought like one magazine of full auto ammo that's going to be gone in less than a few seconds, like you have to budget a lot of money to actually have fun at one of those events, because full auto is fun, but it goes by very quickly. Is there anything else in this bunker? No. But I do hear some doggos, or wolves. I do like how the uniforms, though, like, they don't just, like, throw just some random, like... some of the uniforms are inaccurate to the location and the units that they were a part of, but I do like how they at least tried to make it somewhat consistent by giving, like, the winterized uniforms. But what's really cool about this game is that there was a lot of customization to it, even back then. Before the age of, like, cosmetics and microtransactions in games, like... In this, it just, like, every in-game model, like, of an enemy or an ally, you can use as a multiplayer skin, absolutely free of charge. So it gave you a level of customization that was really pretty in-depth. I mean, you couldn't change, like, the faces or anything, and it was just the specific model, but I think that was a really good way for them to kind of compromise back then. And as the expansions came out, you just got more and more skins that you could use. So you didn't... Like, you wouldn't encounter... The chances of you encountering somebody with the exact same skin are less than you'd think. I love how that guy's casually strolling while the MG42 is just laying into me. Oh, you know what? I'll just use my sniper. I mean, if he's already shooting at me, may as well, you know? Yeah, stealth is optional. Yeah, I'm actually gonna retry that, because that was very sloppy on my part. Because I do want to do this stealthily, because, like, the last time I tried to do a stealth section, I failed miserably, because, like, for some reason the game just was not detecting that I was shooting a silenced pistol. So basically I've just got to avoid the spotlights and avoid being spotted. So, there we go. Yeah, and speaking of, like, Payday 3 has an open, like, I don't know if it's a beta test, but like an open like server test. So I might try that later. Playing like not on stream obviously, but like I'll try like the test and see how good it is because I loved Payday 2, and I really want to see how good the third game is. And I've heard good things about it so far, so we'll have to see. That's the paperwork. I'm sorry, it was a high school photo. Yeah, Payday 2 was a lot of fun. Probably one of my favorite... Like, I've always been a fan of, like, co-op shooters. Like, I'm not really one for PvP. Like, I love PvM stuff, like Warframe, and Left 4 Dead, and, Payday. Like, Payday 2 and Left 4 Dead 2 are probably two of my favorite co-op games ever.
Minefield.
May I see your papers, please? Sure. So, in these stealth segments, the only one who can actually see through your disguise is the other officers. So you have to be very careful as to not get spotted by them. The only other thing you can do is pull out your pistol and, well, that failed miserably. Well, no, come back here! I am an officer of great esteem. Please do not shoot me. Well, I guess that failed. Oh, really? And I have to go all the way back? You know what? I'm not doing it. Well, we're going loud, I guess, but I'll steal the paperwork just in case. It's like, I have nothing to do with these events that are transpiring. Like, bullets? No, I don't know what you're talking about. So, who puts an MG42 at the end of the hallway like this? Like, what is the point? I'm just gonna let them kill me so I can restart this. Yeah, PvE shooters are more my pace too, just generally more fun and there's more variety, and less toxicity. I think the biggest problem I had with PvE, or PvP, is just that, like, as of late, I'm gonna assume that's not a choke point. Yeah, because the officer, like, was able to get away so quickly, like, they spotted me, so... And, as I've been playing this, like, some of, like, the sections where I'm not supposed to be spotted, like, I end up being spotted, like, not anything that I did, it's just the game just decides that I've been spotted. Yeah, like, PvP games have just always been, like, really hard for me to play because of just... Like, people take toxicity to an insane level in PvP games, I think. And it really depends on what you're playing. But, like, they'll take it to the level where they'll dox you, they'll, like, send the police to your house and all this other stuff. Yeah, with friends, it's great. Like, I love playing PvP with friends. Like, Halo, a lot of fun. Like, when it's just fun, like, together, then I can do that. But because we can all be angry together. But by myself, I'm just not a fan of PvP. PvM or PvE is just a lot more fun, because, like, I like co-op stuff where we all get to work together against a common enemy. And see, I think the greatest compliment I ever got in this game is that somebody called me a hacker because I was at the top of the leaderboard, like circa 2014, before the GameSpy servers got shut down. Like in matches, not like the actual leaderboards, but like on the top of the leaderboard of that certain match, like the scoreboard is what I'm looking for. Let me save here. Because what if I just, like, go around him, like, non-suspiciously, and steal his paperwork? You know, this makes me wonder, like, I'm gonna save, too. Like, what'll happen if I just, like, give him his own paperwork? I'm gonna laugh so hard if the guards, like, don't get alerted from that. Are you serious? His corpse is literally right here! Why are you not reacting to this? Like, you literally just saw me shoot this man. And I'm giving him, like, different paperwork. He's... He just walked over his officer's corpse. Like, this is normal, I guess. Like, he literally just, like, casually was just like, eh, nothing wrong.
Hello. Dame.
Oh yeah, I can also point out the MG42 thing here. So, yeah, this part right here. Like, you can see the groove in the side of on the right side of the gun. That is where you would insert and take out the barrel for a barrel change. Like, as a kid, I never really understood the paperwork mechanic. Like, I know that you're supposed to, like, as a kid, I knew that you're supposed to, like, pretend to be one of the soldiers. But now, like, this is a top-secret facility, so it's understandable that there would be this many levels and layers of paperwork necessary and clearance. Because in real life, like, if you are doing anything government-related, like, there's different levels of clearance that you need to do certain things. Which part? The one where the guy walked over his own ally? If not, I can go back and look at the highlight reel and I can clip it there, so no worries. Well, I guess we're going loud. And now it's time for the STG-44. My favorite gun in the game. So, one thing I'd like to point out, something that's wrong with this model. So if you look at the rear sight, the rear sight is actually sticking up, and it's, like, if you tried to, like, do ADS with this, that part of it would actually block the front sight, so you wouldn't be able to actually shoot the gun and aim it properly. So it's like, I think somebody, like, took a look at the STG-44 and saw that, but didn't really think, like, how it would actually shoot, so... I mean, it's an accurate... I'd say it's like a more or less an accurate depiction of the sight system, but it's just... The way that it is, it's like you wouldn't be... You'd be looking down at this piece of metal, basically. Oh, I love this part. I just love the beefy, unrealistic sound that it makes. I love it so much. It just makes it sound so powerful. Ugh. Just the beefiness that this gun sounds like is just amazing. Stay. Yeah, because you have a lot of power in your hands, and it shows. The real STG-44, like, the sound of it is, like, it's beefy, but not, like, cinematic beefy like this. Because I believe that Steven Spielberg, like, had a major role in the development of this game. So that's why, like, there's so many similarities to Saving Private Ryan. It's probably why there's so many cinematic sound effects and guns and stuff that sound like this. Like, it's not for historical accuracy, but to make it, like, sound cool and beefy like an action film. Hi Sarah, welcome back. How was your D&D? Yes, because that's how gravity works. You know, you shouldn't walk around shooting people. That's not nice. But Sarah, they shot me first. Yeah, Big's got my back. They started it. I actually think they infinitely respawn, so I gotta go to that building. I literally shot an entire magazine into him, and somehow he survived every shot. Doesn't matter if someone punches you, you don't punch back. You hope you don't get many black eyes while curling up. It seems like something that they would teach you in elementary school. Like, oh, well, if somebody punches you, don't punch them back. Go tell a teacher. I'm in favor of escalation, as the Germans say. Screw the idea of no tolerance, both parties get in trouble. I read E-Skeleton. Yeah, like, without getting too deep into that dark of a topic, yeah, like, bullying in school, like, you know, that schools will say, like, oh, they have a zero-tolerance policy for bullying, and that they will look into it, but they never do. At least in my experience. In fact, like, there was one time when I was in the 8th grade that I got hit by a wooden spoon. Like, there was a kid that was sitting next to me who hit me with a wooden spoon, and then he threw a paper wad at my face, and I was the one who got detention for it. Because clearly I'm the one who threw it, I guess? Well, I didn't throw anything. I was the one who was hit by both, yet somehow I'm the one who's supposed to be getting in trouble. But that was also at a school where the teachers, like, really did not like me, so they were looking at any excuse to throw me out of class, basically. Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what it was like. I think it's because, like, when I was in school, like, there was still a lot of, like, this old-timey tradition of, like, oh, well, it builds character, they've got to stand up for themselves and all this other stuff, and it's just a load of junk. Like, they just were not up to date with the times on, like, bullying and things like that. My 5th grade teacher failed me in English. Like, for, like, writing and stuff? How can we stand up for ourselves under zero tolerance? Seeing how you speak English, I say they don't know what they're talking about, right? Yeah, it's like, it's almost like, I do have my regrets going to public school, but, like, I also am glad that I did, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have met a lot of my friends, and I wouldn't have developed certain social skills. But, yeah, like, the school system certainly failed me, emotionally and, like, educationally, like, but yeah, like, I've kind of decided that if I ever have, like, a family of my own, that I'm not gonna put my kids into one of those institutions. I was a very fidgety kid. She was the only one who had an issue with me. Red, blue, and green curtains. Yeah, and, Jet, like, I certainly am with you there. I was a very fidgety kid as well. I actually had to get a special seat in the 5th grade. Like, they pulled out, like, this ancient desk from, like, the 60s that had the desk built in with the chair, because I had a problem of, like, always leaning back in my chair and falling out of my chair, which, you know, that was on me, but at the same time, like, I was very fidgety and, like, moving a lot, so, like, they had to get a special seat for me because I kept leaning back in my chair. But at some point I'd like to animate some of my old, like, school stories, because, like, it's definitely Oh, the red curtains imply clouding one's vision with aggressive tendencies. The two-leg lean. See, I remember when I was in English class in high school, not middle school. Oh, well, they actually have the rounds in the ammo crates this time, but they're not in the gun. And the gun is clipping through the sandbags. Oh. But yeah, like when I was in English in high school, not middle school, I remember that like the most common book that they had us read was Of Mice and Men, which I don't mind because Of Mice and Men is a very fantastic but extremely sad novel. The Yanny and Laurel thing, or the blue or white dress. It's sad because like I know exactly what meme you're referring to, and I didn't think it was that long ago. Like, wasn't it like 2017, 2016, something like that? But it is a meme that I remember. No, 24... Wait, really? 2014? Yeah, like, so the reason behind that trend was a thing called metamerism. So, metamerism is something that I learned in color theory when I was in college. So, essentially what it means is that different lighting conditions create different, like, visual, visual effects. So, like, for example, if you look at something online, like a shirt or like a piece of clothing, and it looks different online than in person because the store lighting is a certain consistency. So, like, it'll look different in certain lighting conditions. So, like, something that might appear like, I don't know, like red in certain lighting conditions will actually be a light pink, or vice versa. Yeah, 2015, that still feels like... That does not feel that long ago. Which is what scares me to think about. Because it's like, what they say is true, that whenever you get to like a certain age, like time starts to just accelerate. And it's not even that time is accelerating, it's just your perception of it is a lot different. Yeah, time flies when you leave the hell of school and you become an adult. Like, and not only that, but just that, yeah, I don't feel 27 either. Like, I'm still processing, like, my late teens, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's like, time is a very fickle thing. Because sometimes time will go by extremely slow when you want it to go fast, and when you want it to go slow, it'll go extremely fast. And that's something that I was working with my therapist today with, was that I want to kind of like live in the moment more, because I keep like being anxious about potential future events, that I'm completely glossing over what's happening in my present. Oh. Thank you. Yeah, because it doesn't feel like it's September at all. Like, I am still processing, like, April. Like, it feels more like April to me, like, mentally, at least. Okay, two more, but where do I put them? So it's telling me over here, so maybe it's behind the thing? Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's kind of like why, like, a lot of you have said that my stream is so relatable, because, like, I mean, we all kind of like have these similar life experiences and things that we've been through, and the same thoughts and whatnot. Escape through the Commandant's residence on the south side of town. Oh, dear lord, they all have the STG-44. I mean, it's good to have the ammo, but jeez. Really, the door's locked? You gotta be kidding me. Ammo, good. Health, more, good. Caveman, talk. Eno, caveman. Or cave spirit. The Commandant was literally hiding in there waiting for me. Anyway, I'm gonna jump through this window now, and then I'll read the chat. You may be interested, the main focus of my conversation with my therapist was the illusion of control. In other words, no matter how much influence we may have over a situation, we are never in control of anything, and that is a big source of anxiety for people, including myself. Yeah, that is a very big thing. Like, because, like, as people, like, we are definitely, like, we're certainly, a lot of us are control freaks, and we like to be in control of each little detail, and we like to plan out things in a certain order, like, certain things like that, but yeah, it's definitely something that I struggle with, like, whether it be, like, my worries about, like, how, like, I think, being a little vulnerable, like, without getting too deep into it, like, something that I deal with is, like, the perception that I have that I think other people have of me. So, like, I worry too much about what other people's perception of me is, where I start to make up, like, these fantasies in my head of, like, what people actually think of me. But that's just how I am, and it's how I've always been, like... And that's something that I've been working through, is, like, trying to, like, not worry about that stuff anymore. And so far, I'm making progress, and, you know, and I think that's something that a lot of people, like, especially, like, on social media, whenever, like, I see posts about, like, people who, like, conquered, like, alcoholism and things like that, and then they're immediately torn down by other people that are like, oh, well, cute, 3 months, try 30 years or something like that. It's like, you know, progress is, like, people make progress in their own time. Like, everybody's different, and nobody should be put down for the level of progress that they're making to better themselves. I've been working at it for, like, 5 years now, so, you know, everybody does it at their own pace, and I think that should be respected. Like, even now, like, I'm working to get better with my own issues, and being able to share this game with everybody, and to be able to talk about things that I'm passionate about and share happy memories, like, that makes me happy. Truly and genuinely. So there's a big wall here. Yes, exactly. I've always tried to control other people's perceptions about me because somehow I was threatened by how different I was from everyone. And if you want, like, an honest answer from me, Big, like, I've always thought highly of you. You've been, like, super supportive and friendly, and honestly, I don't have a bad thing to say about you. And that's me speaking from the heart, like, genuinely, and like, I told some friends this last night when I was going through, like, that frustration about the VTuber Plus thing. I even said, like, I wish that I could see, like, through others' eyes about how they see me. Because, like, a lot of people see, like, the kindness and the love, that they see, like, good things. And I wish that I could see that perception of myself, because my own perception of my self-image has been clouded by years of stuff, you know? And, guilty pleasure, but I listened to What Makes You Beautiful by One Direction not too long ago, and, like, the whole lyric of that song is like, if only you could see what I could see, and then what was the other chorus? It was like something about your head, like, looking down at the floor, like, you don't know how beautiful you actually are. And I think that's something that all of us can really learn from, and, you know, like, we don't really see, like, our own beauty through our own eyes a lot of the time. And that's why I try to spread, like, a positive message and positive vibes and be as open and honest with people as I can, because... because I've definitely been in some of those really dark places, and I don't want anyone else to experience that, so I try to bring a positive vibe and a positive message to everybody. Even if I'm struggling through something, like, I try to help everybody. Exactly, I see myself for basically everything I have or have not done. I tried to wrestle with a ton of different perceptions imposed on me by the world. And yeah, it's like, in my case, it's more like, because of, like, that previous community that I was a part of with my old YouTube channel, like, and YouTube is known for being, like, really, really, like, harsh, especially in the comment section. But, like, when you read, like, thousands of comments of saying a lot of these different things, like, it doesn't matter how many people say, like, how much they love your content. But when you get, like, hundreds of other comments that say, like, make fun of my voice and all this other stuff, it really, like, makes you believe what they're saying. And it really muddies your own self-perception. And I think you know, it's something that I still struggle to believe myself because of, like, that aforementioned stuff that happened on that old YouTube channel. It's like, you know, I think everybody is beautiful with all their flaws, because I think that the hardest thing for a lot of people to accept is that they have flaws and they're flawed. Because the idea that we have of perfect is, it's non-existent. Like, nobody is perfect. And we're beautiful as we are because, like, we don't have to hold on to this idea of somebody else's perception of beauty. Like, and that's something that, like, has been a controversy in, like, the beauty industry and, like, models and so on. Is, like, as a society, we have this perception of what beauty is that we don't even know what it truly should be or what it actually is anymore. Yep, I just got eviscerated by an MG42. Those Jaggeroffs who talk down on others don't deserve the time of day. Oh, hi, Cranberry. Welcome to the stream. So, before I continue, I am playing Medal of Honor, so I know that guns make you uncomfortable, so I won't, like, if you want to play with, like, with the volume on, well, the volume's off, you wouldn't be able to hear me, but, while you're here, if you want to test out some of the redeems that I have some new redeems, so you'll be able to give me head pats, you can change my outfit, you can throw things at me, you can slime me like Nickelodeon style. Yeah, like, I just want to make sure that you're comfortable. Like, I don't want to, like, do anything that could potentially, like, make you, uncomfortable or upset or anything. But, this gives me an opportunity to stand here and you can try out some of the redeems while you're here. Head pats are unlimited. Outfits are 1 per person, so if you have enough points to change my outfit, each person has the opportunity to do it once per stream. Because if I had made it unlimited, then everybody would just be changing my outfits on the fly, and it would be like a confusing mess. But I got the redeems to work at the cost of my more advanced tracking. It might be once per stream. Bikini says they've been redeemed. Yeah, Sarah redeemed that one earlier, so... But I knew... But it's funny that you were immediately going for the bikini. But yeah, I had to make the sacrifice of the more advanced tracking, so I can't use my hands anymore, so I'm back to using the standard VC face. So, that's fine. Like, I think it's well worth the sacrifice for the less accurate tracking to bring in more interactivity for through the redeem. So, like, head pats, I love the head pats. Feel free to abuse that as much as possible. And after the stream, I'll look at, like, the amount of times that they can be redeemed and stuff, and adjust as necessary, but you'll be able to do a lot of different things. See? Like that. When you redeem it, it just automatically switches it. Which I think is really cool, and it was something that I was actually talking about not too long ago in another stream, where I wanted to, like, make it to where you could change my outfits or pick my outfits, so now you have the opportunity to do that with points. And I made the bikini more expensive for obvious reasons. But yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and continue. You're always welcome, Cranberry, but again, I just wanted to let you know that I am playing a game that has some not really like realistic sounding guns, but they are pretty loud, so I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. But again, thank you for popping in. Well, today I not only went grappling hooking, but visited the family of my uncle as well. Okay, for sure. And I'm honored that you came here to do that, Cranberry. Like, thank you especially for being part of my community and my journey through Twitch, and like, it's much appreciated that you're here, and everybody that's here tonight, like, thank you so much for being here. It is, like, I cannot put into words how much I appreciate all of this, because you all have been just so awesome to me, and, like, it's really opened my eyes to how great, like how great things are, and makes me feel better about myself, because of coming from a very toxic community beforehand and coming to a very positive and uplifting one. It really helps, so thank you. I just double killed them. Like, the German Shepherd and then the soldier behind him. And no worries, like, all the sounds are really cartoonish, but they are loud. And no worries, like, if you need to pop out and do other things, like, I won't be offended. Like, I don't expect everyone to stay for every single stream. Really only what you're comfortable with or what you want to watch, like, but yeah, I'll stick to, well, I was gonna stick to the more silenced stuff, but yeah, good redeem, chat. I really like the dress is one of my favorite outfits because of the daisy. Oh, he fell right over the edge. So another historical inaccuracy with the high standard here is that every time he shoots it, he pulls it back to load a new round in the chamber, but that's completely wrong because it's a semi-automatic, so it should automatically load another round in. So what he's doing is basically just taking a round out of the chamber rather than putting a new one in there. But I definitely see a lot of similarities with, like, James Bond and stuff like that, for example, because this whole story is an espionage story with the OSS, the Office of Strategic Services, which I believe was the precursor to the, oh geez, what's the British intelligence? I don't remember if the OSS was American or British. I think what makes us a special group is how we decide to let go of the destructive things that others cling to. And yeah, that's another thing, is that we're just kind of, like, all coming together regardless of the things that, like, bind us to our past. And that's something that I'm working through, is, like, just moving on from that toxic community that I was a part of on YouTube, and that persona that I had built for myself over the years, and, like, being who I am. Like, I was even, like, spending, like, hours and, like, days remastering, like, a bunch of my old videos for that channel so, the fans could have something for a couple more years while I went and did Twitch, and, like, that way they felt like their subscription wasn't wasted. But then again, after I saw the, after I removed all of those old videos that held me back and I hated, not one person commented saying, like, oh, well, where'd all these videos go? So it really shows me that, like, they were just there for those really poorly made videos and not for me as a person. Because it's easy to sit back on, like, a YouTube video that was made years ago and judge the person who made it, and their style and whatnot. But the thing is, people don't really seem to understand that there's a person behind all of this who has their struggles and things that they go through. Oh, this was American and became CIA. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was the British intelligence or if it was the American intelligence, because I remember that, because Britain has, of course, the SAS, and then I think it was Israel that has MI6. Or no, was MI6? I can't. Okay, I'm mixing up so many different agencies. Mossad was the Israeli intelligence service, I believe, and then MI6, I think, was the British one. I don't remember. My brain is, like, all mushy, probably because I have a daisy in my ear that's poking into my brain, but either way, MI6 is British. Okay. There's a difference between constructive criticism and bullying. 100%. Because, like, there was, like, I remember that there was a video that I made back in 2014, that I was still, like, getting into, like, editing and stuff. It was about in Left 4 Dead 2, there is a reversed audio that you can do in one of the songs by the Midnight Riders that says Bill is dead, as a reference to the Paul McCartney urban legend of Paul being dead. That video was very poorly put together, and it had really bad audio, because I didn't have a proper microphone at the time, and I just really was experimenting with editing. I have 1 health left. But I was experimenting with editing. And I kept the video up for posterity, but, like, there was somebody in, like, 2019 who, like, commented on the video and was like, oh, well, like, just giving you constructive criticism, but your audio is shit and all this other stuff. It's like, oh, well, you know, you need to do this, and that with your editing. And there was a big part of me that was like, I just wanted to comment back. It's like, look, jackass, like, this video was from, like, 9 years ago, or, like, 7 years ago. It's like, look at a modern video that I made to see how much my editing has changed. And I'm dead. But yeah, that's kind of like, I got comments like that all the time, and it's just, like, it's not constructive criticism if you're, like, directly insulting me as a person. Because, like, the whole point of constructive criticism is to get better, and, like, it's a way of, like, critiquing, like, finding a way to help the person get better by saying, like, oh, well, if you did this, and, you know, this would look better, or this, that, and the other, but, like, people confuse constructive criticism with bullying a lot. Precisely, that's exactly what it is. And it's just like, I got that stuff all the time. Because, like, you know, I was a teenager when I started making videos on YouTube, so I didn't know any better. Like, I just wanted to make stuff that I thought was entertaining online, and I did. And had I not made those videos, I wouldn't be standing here, well, sitting here right now. Oh, thank you, Sarah. On GameFAQs, I made a guide for a Wii version of a game. Years later, the game was re-released on recent platforms with additional content. I often got negative feedback ratings on my guide now because it doesn't account for content that didn't exist when the guide was written. Like, if you need to tell Buddy they're shit at something, then it is you who's the issue, not the other person. And I understand, like, if, on one hand, like, if somebody is, like, they're frustrated at something and they can say something out of anger, like, if they... Like, I have that issue where, like, if I'm looking at a guide and I get frustrated out of anger, or I get frustrated, like, that's one thing. But, like, I'm in control of my anger enough to not attack somebody that is just trying to, like, doing their best to help, you know? Oof. Like, like yesterday, for example, I got really angry at VTuber Plus because I just could, like, there were no up-to-date guides on it, and I joined the creators' Discord, and, I guess maybe there's just a lot of people who use the software, but, like, there was no, like, all of the channels were locked, so you couldn't actually access any of the helping information. So I got kind of frustrated, and I nearly emailed the guy, but, like, I have self-control to where I just didn't do that. Like, there was that part of me that wanted to, but I didn't because, like, the guy's trying the best he can. And I think a big thing for me is, like, seeing people, or, like, everyone's doing the best they can with what they have, and, like, I can't fault people for doing that. Like, I try the best that I can every day to hold it together, and I think I'm doing an okay job at that. It would be like bashing Beethoven because he didn't compose his videos on an electric keyboard with synth effects, something that didn't exist when he was alive. Right, like... Or like a very common thing that I saw... Okay, I gotta bring out the Thompson. The 1742 is frustrating me. But like a very common thing that I saw... whenever I was, like, a critique YouTuber, where I would, like, do, like, commentaries on, like, the gaming industry, like, a very common thing that I would see was people that would say, oh, well, you know, like, why are you still playing on the PS5? It's like, why don't you just go and upgrade, or, like, or PC, like, well, why don't you just go buy this and that parts, like, this is why your computer's not, like, playing the game well, it's like, just go buy a GPU, and it's like, maybe for some people that it's easy to just, like, spend, like, thousands of dollars out of pocket just randomly, but that's not, like, not everybody's like that. I'm not like that. I can't go spend a ton of money on, like, a new console or something like that. Like, I think my friend Taylor put it the best. It's like, the people like that are living under a freaking rock if they think that you can just go out and buy the newest console or GPU just out of nowhere. I have no idea what killed me there. Okay, so I'm going to start bringing out, like, I'm going to bring out the Springfield, because the silence pistol is just not doing it for me. Money don't grow on trees. Because there ain't no rest for the wicked. You know, there ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. And that's a copyright claim. I got bills to pay and mouths to feed. Yeah. Cage the elephant. I guess I could just toss a grenade up there. Oh, never mind. He kicked it. But where? Where? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. So, they can see me, but I can't see them. When I got back from my grappling hook, my family asked if I had fallen down. It was covered in dirt and leaves and such. Did you fall down, or was there just like a lot of brush where you were hiking? I said, nope, that's just what happens to a grappling hook girl. Just another day at the office, as they say. Which, speaking of, I need to actually make that an emote. I want to make the grappling hook an emote for the server. That and the lawnmower, because the lawnmower was like the bane of my existence during the Pokemon Emerald Nuzlocke. Yeah, that grappling hook. Oh yeah, they all know I'm here. Like, they have their spotlights trained on me, so the moment that I get out of here, they're gonna lay in on me. Not him, though. So, it should be... Because that one's still trained on me, so I'm gonna make a break for the building over here. Am I having a good night so far? So far. I mean, it's been really nice that the redeems are working, and there's a new level of interactivity with my model. In that case, consider me invested. But see, like, another thing, Cranberry, is... Oh, Big, thank you. I really appreciate that. I think most of my gifts are really good, for those things, but I'm gonna change my follow thing to something more appropriate, because right now it's just, like, Orange Justice Virgil, which is a relic left over from my old, like, persona on the internet, so I want to change that. Like, I might go into VR chat and record, like, something in front of a green screen. But one of the things that I like about this game in particular, and playing, like, World War II shooters, is, like, I like to bring in a little bit of an educational aspect. So, like, I've been, like, saying a lot of World War II facts throughout the stream, and so it's not just, like, mindless, like, point, shoot, point, gun, shoot. It's, like, point, gun, shoot, but also, like, oh, this is why they did this, or, like, this is historically inaccurate. Like, it's fun for me to share these things, because, like, there's a lot of misconceptions about that period in history, and I like to kind of, like, clarify a lot of things, and... Yeah, like, for example, there's actually a modeling error or a limitation of the time. I don't know which it would have been, but the Thompson, for example. Whenever I reload the Thompson, the charging handle is actually missing. So you'll see him put a new magazine in and pull the charging handle back, but there's nothing there, physically there, because he's basically moving nothing. So when I do that, he's not pulling anything physically back because there's nothing there on the model. So while it is accurate what he is doing, there's nothing there for him to actually physically pull back. And not only that, just this game in general, like, led to so many different things. Like, Steven Spielberg was involved with the project, which is why it looks like Saving Private Ryan so much. This game led to the formation of Infinity Ward and the Call of Duty franchise. And then after the developers that originally came from this game were done with Infinity Ward, they formed Respawn Entertainment that made Apex Legends and Titanfall. So this game came out in 2002, and like, I really need to look more into the development history of this game, because there's probably a really like interesting story behind it, save for the Steven Spielberg stuff. But I think it might have just been a modeling error, or at the very least, like, there was something along with the memory of the game being too much or something. I don't know a lot about game development, but I don't necessarily think it was a limitation, because if you look at the STG-44, it has a charging handle that physically moves back whenever you pull it. It's just that the MP40 and the Thompson lack that for some reason. But I also pointed out earlier that the STG-44 has a few modeling errors of its own. So, like, the rear sight is pulled up, so you wouldn't actually be able to, aim it properly. You would be basically shooting nothing. And the front sight is also lacking a few pieces, too. But something that I learned through playing Half-Life 2 is that a lot of these older first-person shooters, the model is only like viewable from one side, so like the other side of the gun is transparent. Because if you're not seeing it, then why program it? But it looks like, at least for like the Thompson and stuff, it's a full model. But I tell you what, the multiplayer of this game was hella fun back in the day. Like, I really wish that... Because there is still an active community, and there are servers with anti-cheat, so it is still playable. But the problem is that a lot of these servers are run by clans, and they don't really like it when new, unexpected players come in and start doing well. So I've been banned in the past by playing well in servers because they're clan-run. Which I guess is understandable, because, like, I gotta put myself in their shoes. Like, they're playing it relatively daily, and then some random person named Eno comes in and starts doing really well. Like, I certainly understand why they would... I would certainly understand why they would ban me from their server for doing well, because, like, I'm an outlier, basically. My family's right, though. My hair is full of stuff. I might set my laptop in a safe place and watch it from the bathtub. My hair could use some washing. Hey, no worries, Cranberry. Like I said, like, if you need to take off at any point, like, I won't be offended. Like, I always want to stress that mental health and physical health are more important. Like, definitely take care of errands and stuff first. What if the third-person model has the charging handle? So, I might be able to see that when I get into multiplayer. What about hair health? Well, I don't have to worry about hair because, well, fur, I guess, but, like, I played around with the idea of, like, having a head of hair, but I think just having the bunny ears makes me look like I look human enough with the anthropomorphic features, but I think adding hair would make it a little too much. So, I'm fine with how I look. So this is the very last mission. So I will be beating the game today.
We're almost there. Get ready.
Yeah, honestly, I'd be very isolationist if I have this nice group where everything is perfect and some rando shows up about to kill the vibe, but... Yeah. Because, I think the best praise I ever got playing this game was when somebody called me a hacker for having, like... having the max kills on the scoreboard, and the other person only having, like, 20 kills. Well, my squad's gonna die because I have to reload. Yeah, 5 of 9 casualties already. It's because, like, they asexually reproduce, like, through cellular mitosis in order to create more soldiers to shoot at me.
Over there! Watch out!
You gotta switch to your other weapon, it's faster than reloading.
Alright, pal. We're gonna move the train to the prison section. You go on ahead and release the prisoners.
Oh, also another thing that I want to point out in games and movies that I see a lot: akimbo shooting. Like, if you, like, you wouldn't want to akimbo shoot. It looks cool on paper, but, like, the problem with akimbo shooting is that you have to, like, it's shown in, like, gangster movies and stuff where people are, like, shooting, like, accurately with both guns, like, in one direction, but it's pure fantasy. Like, if you want to shoot akimbo, you have to aim one at a time. I'm not saying that you can't do that, but it's just that akimbo shooting is just, for the most part, it's pure fantasy because you can only, like, aim one gun at a time, like, accurately. I know it's an entirely different genre, but have you ever played Hearts of Iron 4? It's a World War II strategy game. Seeing this makes me want to play it again. No, and that actually gives me two things to mention. So, Medal of Honor has a real-time strategy mod. So this game has a real-time strategy game mod that I learned about recently. Hearts of Iron, I have not played it, but my other brother, not the one that's been on stream, but my brother that I live with, has played Hearts of Iron, and I haven't played a lot of RTS games myself. The only one that I really got into was Tom Clancy's End War for the DS. But, I mean, that was really the only one that I ever really got into. Yeah, so it's fun. It's a funny thing, because my younger brother I stream with, and then there's my older brother that I live with who is a teacher, and he has, like, you know, I leave YouTube and come to Twitch, and then he goes to YouTube, and he's doing really damn well for himself, and I'm really proud of it. Because probably in the next month or so, my older brother is going to surpass my old YouTube channel at 27,000 subscribers. Because right now he has, like, last I checked, he had like 18,000. So soon enough, he will surpass my old YouTube channel. So, fun fact, all these POWs have the exact same model and face. So it's literally just the model copy and pasted like 5 times. In this case, Hearts of Iron is a grand strategy game, so there's a lot more going on than just creating units and fighting and such. There was a strategy game that I thought about playing a while back, a mod for Half-Life 2 called Lambda Wars, where it's like Half-Life 2 but an RTS. Like, I've never really explored the genre myself, because I don't really see myself as tactically competent as far as like leading units, but I'd be willing to try it.
All right, pal. We'll hold this area and take care of the POWs. I've sent a few more men your way to help out. Go ahead and start laying those charges.
Well, I guess.
Back here when you're done.
Well, I guess technically, like I played like lifestyle games, like more simulation stuff, like Sims and Zoo Tycoon and Roller Coaster Tycoon especially. Sim Theme Park was another one, which I need to see if I can actually get that working, because that was a really fun one. Because in Sim Theme Park, you can build your roller coasters, and you get to ride them afterwards. So that was really cool that you get to actually like physically ride the rides that you create.
It's all yours now.
I can show you the game once you're done with the stream or anytime, really. Yeah, like, definitely hit me up on that. Probably not right after the stream, because I did promise another Spirit, Pirate Fox, the one who did that donation last time. I'm gonna, if he's available, I promised that I would go world hopping with him. Which, if I do that, then I'll have tons of pictures to share. Because while I'm not physically able to go to a lot of places, one thing that I do love is exploring the realms of the metaverse and multiverse. It's just a lot of fun. Like, I played around with the idea of, and who knows, maybe I'll even do this tonight. Like, maybe I'll go into my Discord server and stream myself going on these explorations. That way anybody can join the call and just hang out. Because I do want to make my Discord a lot more active and, like, have a lot more to do in it. Because the thing is, I have a full body setup for VR chat, so you'd be able to see me, like, not just having the limited webcam tracking that I have now. You'd be able to see me doing all sorts of movements. And let me just point out how brilliant these soldiers were for standing next to explosive barrels. Why would anybody think that was a good idea? Like, and I love how all the explosive barrels are color-coded red, so you know that they're explosive barrels. Like, that's been a trend since, like, Wolfenstein. And I think I just killed somebody. Can I have your M1, please? Terrible video game idea. All color coding is intentionally wrong. Health is blue, red is stamina, green is... Yeah, see, that would be, like, that would make me irrational, well, not irrationally angry, but that would make me very angry. Or, like, no is yes and yes is no. It's like the owl, I think, what was his name, Kabora in, Ocarina of Time. Where, like, you go through this really lengthy set of dialogue, and then it puts you on the, do you want to hear this explanation again? Yes. Wowzer, is this the hit game Pac-Man 1980? The black barrel episode and the brown ones are non-destruct, or explode, and the brown ones are non-destructible. We'll see if I do encounter an oil barrel somewhere. I did point this out last stream, but I don't know if there's going to be any that I can shoot. But one of the features that I really love about this game is when you shoot an oil barrel, it actually leaks oil from the area that you shot it. So, like, you can shoot it multiple times and it'll leak from all these different locations. And I have not seen a lot of games that replicate that feel. Or that... the fuel control units. What am I missing? Watch out for Inky, Waka waka waka. So I actually suck at Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. Like, I could never beat, like, the first two levels. Like, I just was not really any good at Pac-Man. Like, the only arcade game that I was ever any good at was Xevious, and that was only because I was able to play it through Star Fox Assault, because it was a bonus game you could unlock. Doritos, and then me. This is me and Pac. Yeah, I would very easily get eaten in Pac-Man because I suck at Pac-Man, and Miss Pac-Man for that matter. So I'm wondering where they want me to set this explosive at. So it's pointing me in this direction, so... Let me go this way. No. See, that's the thing with these old-timey compasses, is that they don't tell you what elevation you need to be on. Like, it just tells you, like, go this direction and hope for the best. So, let me go back downstairs, because I know there's a room that I have to go into that has a couple more German soldiers in it, but I don't remember exactly where that room is. Right here. Point of view, finding your way out of a deep cave in Minecraft, you just spent the last 3 hours and 27 minutes inside. I think the most devastating thing that ever happened in Minecraft is, I was like, in-game, like, several chunks away, like, I would say, like, maybe, like, in real, like, scale, like, maybe a couple miles away from my home base. And then I had, like, diamonds and, like, a bunch of coal and, like, a bunch of resources that I needed for my playtime. And I ended up falling into a crevasse and losing everything to a bunch of hot lava. And that happened more times than I care to admit. But, like, that was just so devastating. I haven't played Minecraft in quite a long time, though. I have both Java and the Bedrock editions. I just haven't played it in a long time. Yeah, but like just the thought of losing the diamonds. Could we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Because I could really use a wish right now. Also, the track Fort Schmerzen is one of my favorites in the game because it's just so menacing and appropriate for what you're actually doing. Like, it has that, like, imposing sound to it, and I really love that as somebody who appreciates music. Not sure exactly what I'm shooting at. Just a tree line. So another thing, the style hand granata basically literally translates to stick hand grenade, essentially. So let me actually see if this is accurate. So, okay, so it doesn't show it, but I would say that that's probably an inaccurate representation of it. So basically, whenever you have this grenade specifically, there's a little, it's a tube. So at the bottom of the tube, there's a little, like, almost like a soda cap at the bottom that you unscrew, and then there's like these little white pin pieces that you would pull off, and then once you pull those off, that primes the grenade, and then you toss it. Eno, you want to play a game sometime for the channel, like a co-op story game? Sure. Just what would you like to play? Okay, I have to acquire a gas mask. But the big thing about this game is that it was my grandfather who got me into this game, because when he bought it back in 2002, like, it was for all of us in the family to play, and even though I was too young to really be playing it, I played it. Because, I mean, there's no blood at all. Like, even in, like, some of the more, like, graphic segments of this game, there's absolutely no blood. And it's just a lot of fun to play multiplayer, but like my grandfather was a big PC gamer, and he got me into this game and Left 4 Dead, and, you know, just recently I got a hold of his PC, and I got all the data that I needed off of it, so like I got a bunch of old photos and videos, and one of the videos that I found on my grandfather's old hard drive was him playing Left 4 Dead 2. And apparently dying at Left 4 Dead 2, but it's just great because like I look back on that and I just like wonder what he would think if he saw me now. Like back then I was really insecure and all, like I didn't think I would ever really amount to much, and like I wonder what he would think, like seeing that I've explored literal like other worlds to be the metaverse and stuff. Like, I watched some of my family videos literally in, like a massive movie theater in VR chat. Alright, good night, Trends. Have a good rest. Thank you for popping in. You're always appreciated and always welcome. Before you go, can you give me some head pats, please? Unless you've already left, then that would be kind of sad, but... Oh yeah, there were some oil head pats. Thank you. So I saw some oil drums over here, so let me go back and... Not these ones, but there were some somewhere over here. Because I do want to showcase this feature that I've not seen in a lot of other games. So... Okay, I guess these ones are... I'll show that in a multiplayer match later. So, games that I won't play, there's not really a lot that I won't play, it's just that I refuse to play League of Legends, really any MOBA that's with other, like, people. I mean, I never say never, but at the same time, like, I just don't really want to play a MOBA. That's really the only thing that I won't play. Yeah, I like Phasmophobia. I mean, we're gonna be, I mean, October is, like, approaching very quickly, so... And, I will be getting that capture card that Pirate Fox, like, so generously, like, is helped me get, and I'm gonna try... I'll try the demo that Cranberry was suggesting, and if I can get it to work on my PC, that is, through the capture card. But there's that, and then there's also I think I might do Dead Space 2 for one of the horror games that I'm gonna play, just because I did Dead Space Remake, and it's been a long time since I played Dead Space 2. The last time I streamed it or played a yeah, like, yeah, that's what I meant, like, that I'm gonna use the Elgato to play it on my computer, like, if I can get it to work, because I'm pretty not the best with technology sometimes. Because, what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably going to, I'll probably use one of my other monitors as the, like, I'll connect the console to that monitor, and then use that, because instead of my TV, because my TV is right behind me, and, like, it would be kind of a pain to set that up. But I do want to try that, and then Dead Space 2, because I played Dead Space Remake as one of the first full games that I played, and the last time I ever played that game was like in 2017, so I think it's time to play through it again. Especially now that I have all of you to share it with. Okay, so another thing. Back when I was in my early 20s and when I was a teenager, I used to collect gas masks. Because I just thought that they were cool looking and I liked the aesthetic of them, and, you know, having one on hand is not necessarily a bad idea, especially when you're dealing with, like, plumbing and stuff like that. But these gas masks, a lot of older model gas masks had asbestos in them, because that was long before we knew that asbestos was a hazardous material to lungs that could cause mesothelioma, among other issues. So, if somebody were to buy a historical World War II gas mask, it is not recommended to wear them, or even worse, wear it with the filter on, because the filter is filled with 75-year-old expired material, and it's just not a good idea. Back in your early 20s, so 2 weeks ago. Yeah, well, I'm 27, so like this would have been like when I was 19, 20, when I started collecting them. But yeah, I used to collect them. Like I still have a couple laying around. I have an old in one of my compartments somewhere. I have an old Soviet one that was for military use. I have an old I have one called the GP5, which is like the standard like horror movie like Cold War gas mask with like the circular lenses. Like the ones that you would think of when you think of Doctor Who and the "Are You My Mummy" thing. I actually used it as a morbid story, but I actually used that gas mask to, like, I put a hat on it, and I used like that as a Christmas tree for a while because I just didn't have anything else. So I'm like, here, we're gonna call this Soviet Santa. Also, cool detail. Depending on how much health you have, the breathing like varies in intensity. So right now I'm below like half health, so my breathing is labored. Okay, I stopped shooting. Jeez. Tell your men to stop shooting at me. Saint Nikolai the War Maker. I'd be open to playing Warframe with you. Yeah, absolutely. I really would love to play more Warframe, because, like, when I was a YouTuber, I really, like, saw, like, or really only saw the... I am at the elevator. Why is it not working? Okay, there we go. Because when I played Warframe as a YouTuber, I only saw, like, the toxic part of it, and like, what it could be and what I wanted it to be, not what it actually was. So playing Warframe as a content creator, like, on Twitch, is much better. Like, it's a lot more fun. Because I don't, like, critique it as much. Playing Warframe right now. Like, see, that's a mood. Now it's time to get out of this exploding facility, where these soldiers have no sense of self-preservation. They just continuously shoot at me instead of running. Bruh, you are about to get turned into, like, fish paste. I just love this because it's so epic. You're literally, like, it's like the end of Star Fox 64 when you're running away from the explosion, or flying away from the explosions that Andros caused. Or, like, the second Death Star blowing up. Oops, I got sniped. I'm gonna die again. What is this? Maybe I have to stay in the burning building for a little bit.
Get in the trench! We're moving out!
Look at it burn! I like puzzle games. It'll depend on the puzzle game. Like, Portal's really fun. I haven't played through Portal in a long time. Alright, let's take a look at the credits real quick. I'm not going to go through the entirety. I just want to... As long as it's not at a snail's pace, then... "2015 Inc." Yeah, Jason West. He's one of the people who went to go form Infinity Ward, I believe. Now, if I could just, like, make this go faster... I'll just do that. So that's the end of the game. But what's cool about Medal of Honor is that, depending on how well you play, you get awarded medals appropriately. So these are the medals that I received after my game time. So I got the Bronze Star, which was one that my great-grandfather actually achieved back in the war. For heroic and meritorious achievement of service not involving aerial flight in connection with operations against an opposing armed force, on January 20th, 1945, Lieutenant Mike Powell, 2nd Ranger Battalion, successfully completed a challenging tour of duty in the European Theater of Operations. The Legion of Merit for exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service on November 7th, 1942, Lieutenant Mike Powell, 1st Ranger Battalion, rescued both a British and an American POW from a heavily fortified German outpost. Lieutenant Powell's actions helped secure Allied victory during the landings of Operation Torch. American Campaign Medal. For conduct in the invasion of Normandy on June 6, 1944, Lieutenant Mike Powell, 2nd Ranger Battalion, survived the assault on Omaha Beach and went on to clear out a major German fortification, eliminating enemy gunners, and ultimately aiding in the securing of the D1 exit. And the Norwegian War Cross with a sword. For conspicuous bravery... I think that's conspicuous. Bravery before the enemy in aiding the defense of Norway on February 12, 1943. Lieutenant Mike Powell, 1st Ranger Battalion, recovered a much sought-after Kriegsmarine Officer Personnel Manifest from the U-529 shortly before the explosives he planted scuttled the U-boat. Oh, thank you for the head patties. So I will go into the multiplayer real quick. So, essentially, the problem with this game's multiplayer is that now you can really only connect to a game via LAN or an IP. So if I were to go to the internet game and browse the internet servers, this right here is the reason why you can't play this game normally anymore. Because GameSpy was, for those who remember, the service was essentially like the precursor to Steam. It was more of a server browser back then, but it still had a lot of the features that we see in Steam today. But GameSpy shut its servers down in I think they shut down operations in 2013, and then they shut down their servers in 2014. So now you're not able to join any games via the original, like, GOG or GOG, whatever, launcher. And the EA store version of this game doesn't even launch on my computer, so I had to buy the game for, like, the 50th time to actually play it. But there are community patches that fix the server browser, and you're able to access the multiplayer through that. However, like I said, there are issues with the clans and so on. Okay, Sarah, can I have head pads before you go? Same thing with GameGuard. Some games are rendered unplayable, even offline games, because they demand a check to the GameGuard servers, which are shut down now. Yeah, and, like, from what I understand, there's usually a couple healthy servers, but I think a maximum player count of about 200 annually. But it's still relatively healthy, but it's just the admission to, like, actually... like, the admission into these games is really difficult because of clans. But I did want to showcase the multiplayer options. So, like I said earlier, this game did have customization in its multiplayer mode. So, the allies don't really have a lot because this was pre-expansions. So, you'd be able to like select the Airborne, Manon, who is a recurring character in the series, the U.S. pilot, the SAS officer, Major Jack Grillo, standard American Army, and then the Rangers. I usually go with the Airborne because I know my old first sergeant, whenever I was in JROTC in high school, was part of the 101st Airborne Division. Same thing with the Axis. You can pick any model that you encountered in the entire game. I usually go with the Africa Private because there's not any insignia on it, and they're wearing a gas mask, so it's pretty much just a gas mask soldier. That might not even be a gas mask, it might just be like a dust mask or something, but I'm not sure. But you had this level of customization in the original release that was just simple. Like, you were able to customize your character to what you see fit, and you didn't have to pay a dime for it. And I think that's what's great about the pre-microtransaction era of games like this. So you can also create your own games, because this still works on LAN, so if you were on a local internet connection, you'd still be able to play with people. But let me go to... I think it was number 6 was Stalingrad. So I wanted to showcase the oil thing before I got off the stream for tonight. Actually, go with the car. So, in the multiplayer mode, you had a lot of different things that you could do that you couldn't do in the campaign mode, like this. So this is supposed to be a tilt, so like if you're right here, you could do that. But people would just, like, go nuts with it, and just, like, they would shoot, and then they would just, like, do this the whole way so you couldn't hit them. Or, like, people would just sit stationary and then they just, like, bob their head around like this. It was a lot of fun, and this map is actually recreated for use in Pavlov VR. So if somebody has Pavlov VR or has heard of the game, this map is valuable to play, fully recreated with all the textures intact in Pavlov. And some of these maps are also available in Gary's mod as well, so you'll be able to play them in Gmod with everything that Gmod has to offer. Microtransactions ruin gaming. Changed my mind. How much will it cost? Well, it'll cost you the price of admission, which is about $5. I think actually it's $10 for the entire bundle with the game and its expansions. But I can't tell you how many times I've repurchased this game over the years. Like, I purchased it digitally, I've purchased physical copies, I have purchased this game so many times, and I do not regret any of it. But let me go into this building right here, which is where the oil drums are. So, something that I've always thought was really cool about Medal of Honor Allied Assault was this. It will leak oil and gasoline, whatever, in the exact spot that you shoot it. even at the top. I just always found that really fascinating, and I don't see a lot of games that replicate that feel anymore. Or just, like, something, like a small detail like that really sells it. And also, like, I will say that this, yes, this is Stalingrad, and it's supposed to be Stalingrad, but it's, like, broad daylight outside, and it feels like it's springtime. Like, this was in the wintertime. That's the whole point of Stalingrad in history, was that Hitler didn't, like, give his army winter provisions or clothing, so that's why they lost the battle. So why... Well, I guess the battle lasted from the spring into the winter, so I guess, or at least the summer into the winter time, something like that. But it's like, yeah, this certainly isn't what I expected. Another thing is that when I played this, people found a way to hack themselves onto the roof or glitch themselves on the roof. So what they would do is they'd get on top of the roof with the sniper, and they were virtually impossible to hit. There's a lot of aimbot. So playing this game, I really wish that EA would re-release it at the very least with server support, or hell, even a remastered package would be fantastic. But I don't see that ever happening. It's kind of the same thing with, like, Skies of Arcadia. Like, I just don't see anything happening with that franchise. Besides, like, the fact that First Four Figures released a new Skies of Arcadia figure. That was more of just licensing it from Sega. So, this game and Skies of Arcadia, I really hope that something is done with them, because there's just a lot here that a lot of people who grew up with these games would appreciate, and I feel like a modern audience would really benefit from it. Having something not like Fortnite or Warzone, something a lot more slow and classic, because, I mean, they re-released Quake 2, like, how many times now? Like, I really feel that it could benefit by doing something like this, so... I do not, have anybody specific to raid out to, so I'm gonna actually raid out to Herb's Realm, another realm. They are a friend of another streamer that I follow, and I'm gonna go ahead and raid out to them. I don't know them all that well, but they were friendly when I spoke to them. They're really supportive of this other streamer that I follow, Wombat, and I really want to support them as well. So I will go ahead and raid out to Herb's Realm, and I'll be seeing you all next time. So thank you for tuning in and sharing this experience with me, and the redeems and stuff, and making me feel comfortable, make me feel like a lot better of a spirit. So I'll be seeing y'all. Stick around for the raid. If not, I'll be seeing you next time. So bye bye. Ooh, my voice cracked like real bad. It was like,